characters. I know Greninja, I mean, historically, one of the best dash attacks, I think, in Ultimate. Historically, a very, very safe nair on shield. Like, it's criminally safe. But I think some of the things I heard Greninja know out of shield options, really.
Yes.
You know, so when Pit gets to pressing buttons up close, Greninja just kind of has to hold that.
Yeah, that nair does not work as well as you think it should out of shield, so you have to be very careful. And now we're going to see that nair war, that fair war, and in some cases for zackray, also that back air going to come out in the neutral, and we get to see what does that middle range distance look like in this matchup.
I feel like they're really going to stay in the middle of the Pokeball for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like an actual match of Pokemon here. So let's see how it goes. The fall away nair here, just playing this one safe down there. And I like that, you know, again, Greninja's going to do this thing where they'll break away and then they'll just start doing the empty jumps in place, trying to just threaten that space. I think, you know, again, Pit, bow and arrow that. Stop all those movement options. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating for Greninja in that environment because he's trying to bait you out, get you a little bit too comfortable, and then he throws out his disjointed forward air. But zackray not giving him a chance to set up the spacing game.
One of the kings of conversions right here is Zackray's Pit, but Greninja, of course, cut from a very similar cloth. You know, I just feel like maybe just a little too aggressive on the way down. I know that every time we get up close and personal, we do toss out nair, we do toss out forward air or back air. Those moves, of course, if scouted out properly, can be dealt with. And Greninja, for God's sakes, one thing he's going to do, he's going nair.
Oh, yes, he is. You know that for sure. Speaking of nair, here it comes. The up tilt, great catch into the up air. No drag downs there, but that makes sense at that percent.
Oh, yeah. Okay, crouching right up underneath the neutral special.
Ooh. Caught zackray in the startup of back air. They're going to punish, put him into the corner. This is the opportunity for Meow to get back into this.
And quickly.
Ooh, forward air a little bit too low, but the idea was there.
Oh, yeah. You know, and another thing too, I completely spaced on is that Greninja, if I'm not mistaken, a fast faller, easy to combo.
Yes, very easy to combo.
Very easy to combo, which I think is a dream come true for a character like Pit. So, got to see some adjustments here and fast on Meow's behalf. Meow's, of course, you know, playing really well in the corner. Finds himself off stage, no hitbox on recovery, so it has to go for an awkward shot on the way back to the stage.
Zackray's arrow placement is also insane. That is so hard to control. But he's finding a way so far. Does lose that stock, 82% up, trying to fade out that air dodge, but Meow very aware, not giving it to him. Another great set of arrows, forcing Meow into the corner. You can't go high because my arrows are there to shut you down.
Right, the get up attack. Up tilt, trying to get the party started. You know, and I think that's the difference between, you know, Greninja and Pit at times is that at times you'll just see Greninja go for F smash because of just how dangerous it is on shield. And I'm not to say that, you know, Pit isn't dangerous either, but you know, they'll trade off some of those stray hits for maybe some of those like conversions. I do need that initial hit to turn into that next hit. And if you can try to take that away from Pit, you could be in a good spot.
We're already seeing zackray also on top of that, putting in a little bit of taking advantage of the adaptation, the conditioning that he's created with that back air versus the landing into the tomahawk forward throw. And you just saw both of them back to back working out very well.
Up throw, up air. Stay back, like the delay on the way down. I'd like to see some drag down up air combos here from Meow. You know, again, just kind of put Zack in that blender and more importantly, start forcing him to think.
Yeah, Meow is mostly keeping up very well. I feel like zackray is just getting more neutral openings. Not huge conversions that are taking you 0 to 100, but enough to really put the hurt on and make it hard for Meow to keep up.
Yeah. Oh,
there we go.
Like I said, you know, you're not going to see a lot of random F smashes or just smash attacks in general from Pit. These are going to come coupled with a down tilt into something, an up tilt into something. Greninja, on the other hand, you know, when the tempers get high, the pressure's on, I will just F smash.
Yeah, he hit you with the good morning on that one. 3 p.m. at Vegas, I'm just getting out of bed. Zackray definitely wide awake. Shout out Katy Perry after that one. 94% though, be careful.
Okay, Zackray going up against a dark horse right here, if you will. Meow looking good in the corner. On the way back. Is anything off it? Yes, you can't parry all these. I mean, you could, but then I have to question for human.
Yeah, that's the risk reward right there. How often do you go for the parries? Because if you get that mix up wrong, you can just blow up. And Zackray, speaking of blowing up, trying to find something there, getting a little cheeky with it.
Hydro pump at the ledge, trying to push Zackray out of position. And I love that fall all the way down there on shield too, to create himself a little bit of safe space.
Hit him with a 360 no scope. Oh, Zackray, what are you doing?
Hold up a second. This is Rage Greninja. I'm getting PTSD from Smash 3DS. Now, I know that's a different game, but you know when I see Greninja looking like this, I can't help but to just get a little scared. Forward throw?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you gotta put an end to it before it gets started.
Yeah, that kills you nice and early. Good stuff to zackray. Managed to close that out, but Meow, that was very impressive. I was not expecting that to be so close, especially with how much zackray was actually leaning on the mix-ups, cashing out on things that you often don't see until game 2, game 3.
Kind of bringing some of that late game energy right here into the first game, and for good reason. You know, I think it is a game about how you finish, but you know, setting that tone early on and just really letting the opponent know where you're coming from can really make the difference in the set. So, you know, zackray looking good here. Up a game, but it was not a game without challenge. I'll put it that way. Meow definitely made him work a little bit for his money.
And a much slower neutral here. We see zackray not holding forward as aggressively, trying to force Meow to do something out of the corner. You've got stage control. It's not really on you to do anything.
No, not at all.
Those arrows. Oh my goodness, those arrows.
Like, Jesus Christ. Get out the way, Hawkeye. Got a new arrow in town. Nice, down air into back air. Again, it just doesn't help that Greninja. No hitbox on recovery. And of course, easy character to combo. But I'm loving the maneuverability around these active hitboxes. This is great.
Those down airs as well from zackray coming out even more in the corner now. You cannot escape. Finally, Meow finds one back air. Tries to jab out, but over-commits to it.
Yes, a little too committed to the bit.
Sometimes you got to commit to the bit, but I don't think this is one of those times. 42% on zackray. He is thriving right now.
He most certainly is. He's thriving. Meanwhile, Meow just barely surviving here, but if there's a will, there's most certainly a way. Catches the down tilt. Now, we talk about party starting options on Pit, but you know, Greninja certainly has some as well, too. Down tilt can definitely get the fun start. Whoa! And that might have been the fastest pivot grab I have ever seen in my damn life.
Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez out here. That's crazy. Does not get it the second time. Finally, Meow gets back, but every time zackray is putting Meow in the corner, we're seeing like a minimum of 50% now. Okay. Drag down. There's that drag down you wanted.
Okay, couldn't quite get the right tech read. Another down air. You know, I gotta see Nair again, man. I gotta be real. You know, I gotta see the safety in it too, man. -2 on shield on the first hit, so that's gonna force me. Excuse me, I was gonna force zackray to dig deep on what that response is gonna be.
Oh, there's down tilt. Wants that party to get started. Oh, a little bit of space there, and that gives Meow an opportunity. 118 though. I feel like the corner is going to be so important here. Don't waste that jump. Good mix-up. Okay.
Oh, caught you jump. I mean, Lentina, you said it. Don't waste it. Don't waste the jump. There's down throw. Back air. No, you're not. I'm not even going to give you a chance to land on the platform.
Yeah, not a chance. 35%. This is getting away from Meow. zackray has turned it up a little bit, getting a little bit more aggressive as well, but gets punished for that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Gotta be careful. Can't get too aggressive.
Okay, went for the shield there that time, had to stuff it out. Jesus.
Again, forcing such mix-ups. Oh! Love the counter there from Meow. Gotta pull it out.
Oh, that was smart. You know, I'd like to see more counter and for sure more shadow sneak. I spoke it into fruition. That's the air dodge. And that's going to be the game right there. I gotta give it to them. Meow, of course. No slaps of a player at all, and I felt like definitely was starting to, you know, up the aggression as the match started to trail on, but unfortunately, you're just so late into the game. One stock left, dark red %. You know, that's some of the energy that we should have seen in some of the opening interactions of that set.
Yeah, you mentioned the shadow sneak, you mentioned the substitute there.
Yeah.
Those moves, they're mix-up options. They are risky, but they have a lot of reward, and it was great to see that reward coming out, but to your point, a little bit